everyone. I know I'm taking you from the bar. So let me give you a quick introduction. So yeah. So I don't know. We run a fund called Sethi Ventures. We invest in early stage startups, and our focus has been on backing good founders, investing in producing companies. We've been very new in this business. We've been here for less than 2 years. We are also learning the way you are learning how business are built. We are also learning how investments are done. So that's a quick introduction. I've been a banker for 15 odd years. Doing public.
Keep it in distance, yeah.
So doing public equity investments. This is my foray in private equity investments. So this is you can ask me any questions while this is standing there or during the discussion.
Just doing a quick self-introduction for everyone.
I'm Navin Joshua from GreenHonchos. GreenHonchos has been around for a while. For businesses or brands that have found their product market fit from their 0 to 1 journey, the problems of scale are different. I think we just managed one. Is it off? Yeah, better now. So yeah, GreenHonchos works with mid-market brands that are anywhere in their growth roadmap with the technology and digital stack to scale e-commerce. We'd love to share some of our thoughts and hours.
Hi guys, I'm Apoorv from Nectar. We are a manufacturing and distribution company in the nutraceutical space. And we just sell on marketplaces. We lead, I think, 3 categories across marketplaces. Basically, just and we're not equity funded, so basically any debt-related question I'm more comfortable. So what do you manufacture? We manufacture nutraceuticals, so supplements and vitamin jellies. So anything related, non-equity related, I'm more comfortable with. Equity, I think, is very
Awesome. I was just saying thanks everyone for the quick intro. So I'm just gonna, it's a question for everyone here. Would love everyone's perspective. How's the last 6 to 12 months been in this space, right? I think we've seen people say a slowdown in funding, but at the same time, people are seeing a huge uptick in growth, especially in e-commerce. There's a lot of B2C brands that are doing exceedingly well. A lot of other companies in other sectors are also really looking to double down on growth, even though there are a lot of headwinds. Given each of you all are in such different but linked parts of the ecosystem, funding, growth and marketing, and a brand founder here, would love your perspective on what you've seen over the last 6 to 12 months and what does the outlook look like over the next year or so?
So from the investment point of view, share and probably what I interact with all the founders where we've invested and even the founders. Last 6-7 months have been challenging on a couple of things, which is they all talked about ROAS going down. Second, funding where they've been so these 2 challenges have been there, the ROAS and the funding. And but the positive side is the founders have tried. The good thing is while the funding has been tried for them, they've figured out various ways how to survive this time. Earlier, since 2020, 2021, when the funding was there was zero. There was 0% street loans. Funding in US, funding was coming to India. People were spending money left, right, and center into various things. Now they've become very frugal, the Indian way. The startups are also doing like old Indian parents do. They're very careful in what they spend, how they hire. And it's happened in the last 6 months, in the early stage at least. So I think the challenges which were there has been taken very positively by the founders and have moved, trying to pivot, trying to figure out the right business model for them, and they've been working on that. So I think it's good for the ecosystem that people are focusing on the right things. I think that's the key takeaway from the last 6-7 months, which I've seen.
Now the most qualified person on the panel is already answered that question.
Navin, you go. What has been the thesis for you? I mean, you're an early stage investor. What do you look first as founder, market, or what is it? What are the KPIs?
I think you answered it right. For an early stage, it's in the same order. Founder question is the critical thing in terms of founder. So when we see a clarity of thought in a founder, that's the most important factor which we see.
And that comes with experience. Do you also kind of emphasize a lot on
So that
experience?
comes definitely with experience of meeting a lot of people in the past. So when you speak to people, it's very well said that 70% of it is body language, 30% is the words which they speak. So if you can, with that experience, gray hair and all that stuff, you can get to know when a founder is pitching you what type of founder he is. So a lot of emphasis on the founder question. Second, definitely we look at the market size, whether this is a problem which it only is only considered by the founder as a problem, or it's a larger market. So we definitely look at that. The third question is the business model. The business model is there. There is a team which is and also apart from founders, we do spend some time with the team to understand who's there at the execution level. So initially, not many times the founder is the main person, but if you start meeting the next line of chain, you would get to know what type of people he's working with. So that's because everything we say that the founder does everything, but eventually there's also a small team behind it which is doing it.
And you correlate the tag with product market fit in some way or the other in your analysis.
So obviously on the B2C space, a product market fit is a very it's at a traction level, I would say. So we would rather focus on our traction level than the PMF is achieved. But if there's a decent traction, we assume that the PMF is done.
And what is the decent traction for an early stage?
For an early stage, you'll be So in fact, I was telling one of the founders of Peakspark. So she also asked me the same thing. What is the traction? So it depends. If it's a category creation, very early is very early. But even if you're doing 5 lakh rupees a month, sales is like good. If it's a category creation, but if you're fighting in a category which is already established, then the numbers increase. So effectively, if you so it depends on how we feel, and it's our assessment. It's not, and we could be wrong, we could be right, but it's our assessment that this category is it's a category creation or not a category creation. So it's a very difficult answer to say what is the right value, but depends on the stage of the product. No more question.
And also that probably depends on the category itself. But yeah, I'll address it a little differently because we have another spin from the tech-enabled demand generation side, where we actually look at a lot of brands, not from his lens, but from a lens of partnering with them. I remember the last time we met Bharat at your office, he said a very interesting thing, funding winter. Winter is also a season, and the season changes. After winter, in general, there's a summer, but in India there's every festival, there's also every season. We have one today, glad to have you guys here. But it's going to change. I think the challenge that is there is, You talked about frugality. I think we've seen a lot more businesses talking about trying to scale with profitability, which is really what a business is. Yeah, I think whether it's investors, whether it's anything, whether it's revenue-based financing, I think everyone wants to figure out whether it's pre or product market fit. What would it take for an entrepreneurial business to place a bet, either from the servicing side or the enablement side or from the funding side, to then say that's all they need to be able to further scale the proof of concept. I think that's where we've also kind of found. You mentioned a word called ROAS, return on ad spend. I think businesses in the last 9 months, let's say last September now, there was a post-COVID era pent-up volume of purchasing. I think then there's also been this season of that not happening. I think we're all very hopeful overall for the ecosystem. Even the top traffic has dropped across even Myntra and Amazon. Forget about D2C at this point. I think it's the natural retail piece. I think Jyoti was also mentioning earlier that even a lot of fashion as a category, which drives a lot of the traffic and people going out and buying. It could be consumer packaged goods, it could be beauty and personal care. I think the wedding season is probably a little flat. There's a very small one that happens in June, July. But everyone's very hopeful that the normal September, October, November, December will come. So I think everyone has to brace up for that. But businesses that are only hinging on ROAS, I think that's not a winning game. It has to be more about the content to commerce journey, it has to be more about differentiation, it has to be more about storytelling, it has to be about the product market fit and the planning on that range. If it's fashion, it will be merchandise, otherwise it will be the product itself. I believe brands and businesses, whether it's B2C startups or even emerged retail brands, trying to figure out what that repositioning is for scaling up commerce. The customer is there, and the season is still going to change from the winter to the autumn. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on this. Winter to the spring.
So no questions from me.
Just adding to what Navin said, that winter is actually a season. So I keep talking to a lot of my batchmates from IIT, and since they are from IIT, they're finally calling a line to raise funding. They just wake up, brush their teeth, and go outside investors. So my point is that when they do that, we always discuss that why don't you just calm down for maybe like 6 months or so and just focus on the business. Just run your actual business for 2 months and just try to improve your metrics and focus on the active part of the business, because fundraising is a full-time job. You just need to, I've seen the schedules of my friends and past colleagues. They're on calls like 18 hours a day, and I find it next to impossible. I sometimes sleep in office. I'm just generally tired after lunch. So my point is that maybe just focus on business also. So that meanwhile, it might be a blessing also. If the business funding scenarios anyways go, you might just want to focus more on business. That's just my idea.
So what is the percentage of founders should spend on raising funds? I mean, don't know absolute numbers, but yeah.
So again, I'm maybe not the right person to ask this, but I tell you why I'm actually hardcore anti-VC. So what happens is, because I have more in organizations like either these guys or maybe banks, because you get
GetVantage is something with it, but that is different.
Compared to maybe sometimes because VC funding is based on human sentiment. So maybe market is not right now. You maybe know the kind of emails everyone gets. I've seen a template of many emails you might have seen about their side. So my point is that there is no clear yes or no. VC funding, it is also a proof of luck. I've actually had friends who have their startups. Their startups have committed term sheets, but they did not receive funding. And it's maybe like 3, 4 months, 5 months. People are delaying it. Sometimes there are 2 of my friends' startups which are actually shut down in those 5 months. So my point is, maybe it might be a blessing in disguise just to focus on the on the funding front. And because a lot of the thesis comes from the US. कि क्या करना है, क्या नहीं करना है. 5 years back, people were like, अपनी website में मत बेचो, you cannot beat Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal. Now everyone is like that, अपनी website पे बेचो, Snapdeal का नहीं, Amazon पे क्या ही हो जाएगा. So because the general thesis is being derived from the US. So again, my perspective maybe just let's focus on business also for more rather than
I think all of you made a really valid point about how businesses need to be profitable and how you need to be making money, right? And Apoorv, I'm going to come back to you in a second, actually, then move to Navin and Abhishek as well. You've been able to scale up your business pretty substantially over the last year, right? 7-10x, something like that. And you serve 2 million customers today. And you've, like you said, you've done that essentially completely bootstrapped. You haven't raised equity to get to where you are. How do you look at moving forward? How do you look at funding and growth, right? And when you talked about focused on revenues, right? Companies like Navin are doing a lot for businesses and founders in the space. When it comes to growth, thinking about growth differently, really looking at data behind decision making. Can you tell us maybe one or two things that you focused on as a founder yourself, who's done this a very different way, not had to raise equity? What are two major focus areas for you in your journey so far?
one thing which I feel was very, very relevant for us, we've actually vertically integrated in every category we are. One thing which I feel has been working very well for us is that we've actually vertically integrated every category we are in. So, to the point where even machinery is being manufactured by us. So, I can actually stress B2C brands only, not really, might not be relevant to software brands. But when a B2C brand goes to a third party manufacturer, usually the cost increases by about 3x. And when you manufacture it yourself, if you're able to do it on a decent basis, your cost goes down by 3x. This has increased our cost from anywhere between 40% to as high as 85%. And that has really hit us profit by 500%. So that is really unfortunately, we don't even have a Google at home based on that account right now. I'm taking
Over to you guys. So, Pradeep, you were talking a little bit earlier, and obviously looking at a lot of the investments sort of made. You'll have this focus on a lot of B2C brands, a lot of brands that will be around Shark Tank, and you're seeing this massive wave of entrepreneurship, or at least entrepreneurship that's a little bit more in the spotlight now. India emerged. Where do you think, are we heading into a bubble at all? Is there too much happening? Is there enough support in the ecosystem, whether it's from investors like you and us, whether it's from enablers like GreenHonchos and Navin sitting here as well? Is there enough happening, or is it all hype?
So, if you look at the ecosystem altogether, it's much more than what it was 8 years back. So there is no doubt about it. There are more investors. There are more people who are looking at funding debt. There are more people who are enabling it. Because I always look at lighter note, I look at the balance sheet of every startup. The money they're bleeding, right? Most of them, not everyone, but most of them are bleeding. The money is going somewhere. So is it going to? Majorly, it's going to the enablers of the ecosystem. So I would say that the ecosystem has been developed. There was definitely a bubble in terms of valuation, and that was because of people chasing for the same asset, which happens to every asset class in the world, be it real estate, be it public equity. If people are chasing for the same asset, there is always going to be a problem, which happened in the private equity space also. And there is some kind of realism coming back into it as cycles turn. Even the founders, we meet, they always say that yes, we got lucky earlier, we got a better valuation, we understand that valuation was high at that time, we are realistic now, we're okay with what the valuation looks like, evaluation. One term sheet over another term sheet and over another term sheet was the way, and who won't do it? Everyone sells this real estate like this. इसने 10 बोला उसने 20 बोला, that's how it used to happen. But now, when the realism is come, they are focused on building the business. It's the sweat which is there. They've spent a lot of time. So now, the bubble, what we talked about, has a little bit punctured. Maybe over a period of time, as the VCs, large VCs are holding a lot of dry powder with them, again it would come back at that stage. So one, you could raise down, or you could raise after 3 years, take funding from GetVantage, ride the wave, and once the VCs are ready, they don't have an option to invest, then look at the term sheets after term sheets. The same thing will happen again.
This is not sponsored. This is not
I
sponsored
tell
content.
all the companies where I have invested that if you can raise, so honestly, this is not. So I was not supposed to be on the panel also, so it can't be sponsored. So this was, I tell all my founders that if you can raise debt at this point, it's the ideal thing. If debt works well for you, depends on every business. I don't recommend every business to raise debt, but if debt works well for you, then you should raise debt at this point in time rather than diluting your equity. Time will turn, all the VCs will start looking at you, you may get quicker funding, maybe term sheet after term sheet. That's all.
So I have a question.
Shall we open for questions? Yeah. Guys, everyone, just to sort of say this again, we have a wonderful panel here. We have a D2C growth enabler. Navin is here from GreenHonchos. We have Prateek from Sethi Ventures, who is a VC. We have Karun from GetVantage, we're into debt. And of course, we have Apoorv, who's grown his brand 7x in the past 1 year without any branding advertising. And no funding, no equity funding. So if you all have any questions, I think this is a great time after.
Yeah. Hello everyone. I think this question goes for Prateek, or maybe any one of you respected speakers.
Just be a little louder.
Yeah, I'm audible to you now. Yeah, and to everyone obviously. So my name is Juneja. My question is related to the economy. Let's say one startup has a FMCG product, a regular product, or regular consumer product. That business will flow, revenue will come. What about the startups? Whereas they keep thinking, okay, funding आएगी, कब आएगी नहीं आएगी, I don't know, or they don't know, right? I don't know and they don't know. So don't know is a question. Why? Because if I will keep waiting for investors fund, कि भैया वो पैसा देगा, मैं उसका पैसा बर्बाद करूँ या क्या करूँ? Are you getting my point? So that is what the point. So where the economy will go in that flow. One side we have FMCG products, regular products, whereas in okay fine, वो तो चलो चलता है कि भैया 100% तो आ ही जाएगा, revenue तो कम से कम कर ही लेंगे, investor का पैसा तो वापस हो ही जाएगा. But what about the products whereas we have lot of competitors in SaaS, there's a fashion trend going on, Web3, ChatGPT, obviously that's an upgradation of the basics, isn't it? Web3 is a normal, it's an upgradation of normal web. That is what it is all about. There is no rocket science. So now the question is one only, that where this economy will go. And obviously, I don't need to, waste the investors' money. It is a hard-earned money, yeah.
So the way the economy is going, Modi ji just said that it's going to $10 billion.
Sir, I'm practicality.
Let's talk about where the economy is like the startup ecosystem is a small part of the economy, which is becoming bigger and bigger. There is an investment which is happening, as you said, on the FMCG product. Let's put it a D2C term to it. A lot of investment happening there. There is consumerism. People are buying stuff. People are buying healthier options. People are consuming. That's adding to the economy. Right? There are businesses where people are building future technologies, which is going to impact future future requirement, not right now. So where there are certain people, certain set of investors who have the thesis to do it. People are looking at investing into AI. People are looking into investing into Web3. But those are different type of investors who are looking at investing into their business. Unfortunately, our government is not focused towards it right now. Maybe a few years later, they find that this is a place to invest. They may invest, but the economy is going. You would say the economy is going to grow basis a lot of other factors than the startup ecosystem.
Right. So, see, about me, in a one line, about me. So, in last 8 to 10 years, I expertise into corporate gifting and branding. Gifting and branding, you name it, we brand it. But I never thought of startup. So 5 years back, all of a sudden, I had to start my startup. I never knew that I'm going to do it. So I went to jungles, I went to forest areas for 2 days. I came back after 3 months with startup. And apparently my product is approved. My product is pre-approved for carbon credits, and I'm making a cookware product. Yes. So basically, my investors and my corporate clients can also offset the carbon emission through that. And my product is reducing 4.2 ton. One product is reducing 4.2 ton carbon emissions per year. And I'm sure that my investors will earn up to 300% profit out of it.
Yeah, no, like you said, man, I think it's very interesting, and you need to echo what Pradeep said. You have to have innovation, you have to have founders that are trying to do disruptive things, very different things, and you are going to have the investors who are like-minded in that approach and are going to take the risks to invest in those founders and those enterprises, right?
Please.
Who have that risk appetite to invest. I mean, at the end of the day, equity capital is risk capital, right? It gives you the ability to take those risks, take those moonshots, to try and create that innovation.
I also do this. So whatever I earn in my premium business, corporate gifting, branding, I invest that money into my startup.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's good. Navin, I have one, I guess, final question, and if there's any other questions on the floor.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. There's obviously a lot of talk on equity, there's a lot of talk on fundraising, etc. And unfortunately, I think what happens sometimes is people forget that there's a phrase called brand equity as well, right? That needs to be built up, that actually helps drive reputation, sales, valuation, value creation, all of that. Being such an important part of the ecosystem, working with so many different companies, startups, other larger enterprises as well, what kind of focus do you think founders should have, brands should have, when thinking about growth from a long-term brand equity perspective? Because there is always this concern. One of the first things to get cut when funding is tight or times are tight or difficult is marketing spend, right? But how do you find that right balance, or how can founders find the right balance between what is too much and what is more than enough to actually drive growth?
Thanks. It's a tricky question. Also, kind of read through it. See, what we find with multiple brands, some have been traditional retail. They have a totally different way of looking at it. And in many ways, it's a unlearning and a relearning of what the cost of customer acquisition should be for them. Because their economics works very differently from a D2C first startup, which has built itself ground up with those customer acquisition costs built in. It's also not, what I see as a winner takes it all kind of a situation in any category. I think emerged players are there, they will still be, leaders in their categories. I think new age D2C brands will come and be great challengers. We've seen that in every category. It's not even a D2C exclusive versus a marketplace landscape at all. I think there's a consumer. The consumer is in the center. It's not as much a seller or a brand's call. If the consumer is moving, the brand should move as well. It's just another channel. Even marketplaces like the Amazon and the Myntra have realized the importance of content and commerce, and have actually given a lot more real estate for brands to actually demonstrate their language on it, which earlier was only available with D2C. And gone are those days where you can't sell full price merchandise or product on marketplaces. Apoorv would be seeing that. There is a customer, there is a brand language. When you talk about brand equity, the customer is looking for an honest story. I think a lot more of the hard yards in where I feel somewhere the new age digital startups feel that it's a magic wand. But that magic wand used to be from the 0 to 1 journey. Right now in this environment, it's the 0 to half journey. I think the next journey is where it says, you know what? When I'm doing more of the same, it's just not moving the needle, and the CAC is just going, through the roof. Nothing is really plowing the consumer mindset from a loyalty, retention, organic perspective. Everything is the T20 game, and I think that's where no matter what, I think the hard yards need to be done. To Vicky's question, I think the 0 to 1 is different for each category. It's about the aspirations. The market size completely exists. But I think retail doesn't change, only the channel has changed. We were just talking the way some extremely traditional brands like Manyavar, etc., have really figured out they've invested in their brand even then, when very few were. And today as well, I don't think it changes any of the rules of the game. So I don't think it is first chasing revenue. It's about the product market fit and then figuring out the right tenants to scale.
I think everyone's getting a little bit antsy for drink. So if anybody else in the floor has any questions for this amazing panel, I'm happy to open the floor to a couple of questions. Otherwise, we call it. And we can have it over drinks otherwise. So, okay, thank you again. That's Navin from GreenHonchos, guys. Pradeep from Sethi Ventures, and of course Apoorv from Nectar. So please catch us.